Our next guest is no stranger to the news business. Award-winning journalist Shepard Smith officially joins the CNBC team starting Monday, but this fall, a new show, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, titled The News with Shepard Smith will debut. And Shep joins us this morning. Shep, welcome to the family,
catchy,
man.
right, Carl?
Congratulations. And congratulations to us. This is a great day for CNBC.
Well, it's a great day for me. Did I miss anything? It's been since October. I kind of checked out for a minute, but it sounds like things have been going on while the rest of us were hunker-downers.
Well, I want to get to the show. I want to get to whether or not you've missed the news cycle. But really, when we'll talk about SCOTUS in a minute, but how have you been spending your time since you hung up the mic in October?
Watching CNBC and everyone else for that matter, and reading a lot about it. You know, we've never had a news cycle like this, and it was already literally crazy before I signed off, and watching it as a viewer has been a new experience. I've been a journalist for 30 plus years, and watching from the outside has been fascinating. There really wasn't a time when I felt like, oh, I got to go do this, until CNBC came along with a plan for a newscast that's about news. We're going to have reporters, the great journalists of CNBC and across the NBC family, newsmakers and experts, and no opinion, no pundits, nobody telling you what to think or how to feel, just what the facts are. I know my family in Mississippi and my partner's family in Pittsburgh want to know what the truth is, what the facts are, and we have a responsibility. Those of us who are so privileged to have a platform, we have a responsibility to tell the truth, to seek the truth, find the truth, and tell the truth in context and with perspective. And that's what we're going to do on the news every night at 7 o'clock right here on CNBC. I wish we could start tomorrow, but we have to hire some people first. So in a minute.
Well, in a way, Shep, I wish we could start tonight because we just got the SCOTUS decision. But, I mean, all of the news cycles that have occurred since you went off the air, the COVID response, unemployment, Black Lives Matter, defunding police, and now this decision on tax returns. Let's just take that as an example. How would you cover that tonight if you were on the air tonight?
Well, it just happened, so I would need a minute. But viewers should remember this goes back to a subject that the president has said is irrelevant, and that is payments to Stormy Daniels, the adult film star, and another. And the Southern District, Cyrus Vance in New York, is investigating whether the president falsified his records in an effort to conceal whatever it was that happened. The president has denied that he had sex with either of these people, that there was an affair with either of them. Cyrus Vance in New York is investigating that. And he had subpoenaed his financial records, including his taxes. And the president has said, as he does on so many occasions, that he has immunity because he's the president. Well, Roberts wrote today in a 7-2 decision that, in fact, he doesn't have immunity, that the Constitution does not allow for protections when under investigation in a criminal matter. And that's what this is, a criminal matter regarding the president of the United States, not about the sex or lack thereof, as it were, but about the finances and whether finances were manipulated to conceal the truth, whatever the truth is. And the Supreme Court has said if Cyrus Vance wants the records, he gets the records. We're waiting for another Supreme Court decision in a separate matter, but also regarding finances. This will be, the president has never wanted this to happen. This will not be a popular decision at the White House. I heard Steve Mnuchin just a minute ago say it's a separate matter, and it is. But as you say on CNBC every time, first in business worldwide, follow the money. And that's what Cyrus Vance is doing. You look across the cable landscape, and nothing against anyone. Most of my friends in television are in opinion television, and good for them. You know, if you want to tune in at night and hear the opinion that's opposite from yours, or you want to have your own feelings, you know, amplified, then go ahead. But if what you're looking for is a newscast, you're hard-pressed to find that on cable. There was a time when there was a newscast every 30 minutes, and it wasn't that long ago, at least if you're 56. But that doesn't exist as much now anymore. And CNBC has made an enormous investment in the concept that people want to know what's really happening. Not how we think you should feel about it, not to reinforce your thoughts and beliefs, but here are the facts. Here are the facts of the moment. The facts of the moment are the president said you can't have my tax returns and my financial information. The Supreme Court said you're not protected from that. Therefore, the court will, the Cyrus Vance's office in New York will be allowed to have that information. But the Supreme Court also said we're not going to rule on whether the House committees can also have that information. So those are the facts. And you and your family can discuss whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's not my place. No one cares what I think. But what we're going to do is take in the vast resources of CNBC, combine that with the resources of NBC News, all of NBC's local stations across the country, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of journalists, and bring the best, most relevant stories for people's lives to their households every night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And I feel like that's a public service. We as journalists are so lucky to have the only job that's specified and laid out in the Constitution. We are to operate in the public interest, convenience, and necessity. And our job is to tell people what's happening, to get it right every time. But because we're humans, we won't. And when we get it wrong, we'll correct it immediately and loudly across all the platforms where we got it wrong. And I can promise you that our job and our goal and our mission every day is to find the truth and tell the truth in context and with perspective, without fear or favor. If we're making people upset by telling the truth, that's their problem.
Shep, you gave a speech in November at the International Press Freedom Awards about journalists' ability to do their job in governments all around the world. You gave a sizable donation to the committee to protect journalists. This is clearly an issue that you've thought about deeply.
Well, I have very good friends who've been kidnapped and held hostage. My old friend Steve Centani is one of them. Journalists are under attack all around the world. They're held for one reason, because they tell the truth. You know, the truth isn't always pleasing. I'm fully aware of that. There's a lot happening in the world right now that's very displeasing. And we're at a moment of national and, for that matter, world crisis, and it's not going well. So when journalists are under attack, the people's right to know is under attack. Because we're not working for ourselves. We're working for the people who watch our work and read our work and rely on us for the truth every day. And if governments especially start locking up journalists, the world is a much worse place. I know that journalists are not most favored person status at the moment. But if you remember what it is that we're supposed to do, find out and tell you about, ours is a valuable thing. Our founding fathers said the democracy cannot hold without it. So hopefully it'll be a roaring success, and other companies will have more straight newscasts, because there's never been a time when we need it more, not in my lifetime.
The News with Shepard Smith debuts this fall at 7 p.m. Eastern. Shep, on behalf of all of us on and off the air at the network, we are so glad you're on your way. And if you could start earlier, that'd be great. Congratulations.
We'll see what happens. Thank you so much.